everybody. I'm here with Nature Call. Hey, Nature Call.
Hey there, how's it going?
So we have two quotes today because each of us thought that's a really strong quote. So we wanna share both. Mine is "Dwelling on the negative simply contributes to its power" by Shirley MacLaine.
That's a really good one. I heard of that one and I couldn't put my mind whether that's the one or another one. The one that I got really impacted by, I liked was by Guru Singh. If you attach to the negative behavior of others, it brings you down to their level. So that spoke a lot to me.
I like that too. So it brings you down to their level. What do you think then causes people to feel negative? What's your opinion on that?
I think, there's negativity, a few things, all just our emotions and our attitude in our lives. We just either we are playing the comparison game or we are envious of someone else's success. We do not see the sacrifices that gentleman or the woman has made to achieve that success. We always think the grass is greener
Mhm.
on the other side, and we do not see the work that has been put to get all that work done and get all those goals and tasks achieved. But we're just seeing the dream world that that person is in
Mhm.
and not seeing the 20, 25 years they've spent or the number of years to achieve that.
Mm.
So
So for
I
you,
think there's
it's
tons of person.
jealousy. So you
Go
say
ahead.
jealousy is a big reason why people try to comparison. You say this is where you see negativity comes from for certain people.
Yeah, there's jealousy. We have our own pessimistic behavior where we ourselves say that we're not good enough, even though we are great in our own space.
Mm.
We have greediness. We want more. We should be happy with what we have. But, it's human,
Mm.
mankind. At least for the guys, I can say that we are always want more. So I'm not a woman, so I don't want to be in that space. But as a guy, we just want to keep getting more and more. They have this saying that why not enjoy the freshness of the flowers, smell the freshness of the flowers, rather than just trying to get more flowers. Or there's an analogy, I don't remember it
Okay.
exactly, but it's sometimes we are so busy trying to get to the end goal that we don't enjoy the journey
Mm.
that we're at. Um, or we might become cynical and we want everything for ourselves, not noticing how it might impact someone else. And then while chatting with a friend, sometimes someone will say that there's karma. And then we think the steps we actually took when we were pessimistic or cynical
Mm.
or narcissistic. And then we'll feel again, make ourselves feel bad about it, which I don't think we need to. There's enough blunders, issues, sadness, death, things happening in this world. So just enjoy your life and do not get impacted by what people say about you, to you, because they don't really know you. The only person who knows you is your own self.
Yeah, I mean it's always easier to say than to believe, right? Because I think a lot of people dealing with kind of being afraid that you fail, um, so like I mean jealousy is for sure also one reasons, but I think also one thing you mentioned is like the comparison thing, right? And I think social media in that sense doesn't really help to that because you always see the best side on social media, right? You always
Yeah.
see people happy, smiling, achieving things, contribute things to the world, and then you look into the mirror like, oh, I have to do more, right? I'm not enough. And I think that's where that negativity also comes from. And there's way more things right behind that, but I think
Yeah.
that comparison is for sure a big one. What I'm
Oh yeah.
realizing, yeah.
Comparison is huge. There's social media really good. There's multiple ones in social media. Like one of my friends was speaking earlier regarding fitness, and he said that people who are fitter. Sorry guys, this is an inside joke. He will understand it. So everyone looks at all the abs and the 6 and the 8 abs, and they don't notice the work that has gone, the discipline, the sacrifices, and they're unable to join us for late night parties or drinks. And they have to stick to a very strict diet to achieve that body day in, day out. So there's sacrifices there. People who say they're very happy on social media, you don't really know their real lives. We think that we're looking at any of those instas and we're like, wow, what an exciting life this person deals. He could be literally just grabbing it from different venues or different people's lives and adding it there to feel that his life actually matters. It it might not be a true thing, but these assumptions we take that if that person's happy, they're living such a cool life, why are we not living the cool life?
Mm.
So
It's a lot
it's
about
really
mindset, right? I mean, it
it
sounds a
is.
bit like how you see things, because you can also see it things positively, right? Even though maybe it's not the best thing what's going on in your life, but you can also focus on or put your energy on the positive things which you at the moment facing instead. But I think
Yeah.
we as people, we are really drilled to see the issue, right? To see what's wrong. And I always bring that one thing: when you do a test and you have 99, well, 100 questions and 99 questions you did correct and one question is wrong. What's the first thing you do? You check.
You check where you went wrong.
Exactly. And I think that showcase the behavior of the mindset of people a lot, right? Because at the
Yeah.
end, I think, don't get me wrong, I think it's okay to feel negative if you have a moment. I think it's okay. I mean, I never met a person which I can say that person is 100% always positive. No, because people went, people compare, people, yeah, you know what I mean. And but I think it's okay to have your 5 minutes and say, okay, I am negative now, and I know that I'm negative,
Hmm.
and that's okay. But then try to concentrate on the positive things, right? Because if everything is negative in your world, then yeah, then you have to do something. I mean, but then because then there's big, you deal with bigger problems. But if it's just a few things and you think like, at the end also maybe think like, okay, is it maybe just one or two things I'm dealing with which are really negative, but the rest is really positive, you know? So maybe I can, because negativity can also be a good push to then say, okay, there's a problem, I have an issue, I'm negative, but then okay, how can I now get out of that, right? How
Hmm.
can I be more positive? What can I do to change that, right? If you're not happy, as you said, with your body, yeah, you can complain now all the time and look at other bodies and like, okay, or you can do something, right? And
Yeah.
maybe it takes time, yes, but then do something. And it's always easier to say, of course, I've been there, I know that, but if you don't change something, as you said in your quote, then nothing will change. You need to act. It's on you
True.
at the end, right? Do you
No,
have
that's true.
a story or something, like an experience you can share where you faced negativity in your life?
I will, but let me actually say a few things before. Just, I think sometimes people take negativity that it's negative. It's actually not. Okay. I don't think that it's actually bad to be negative at times. When we are thinking of any situation, it's very nice to find that, let's say we make any strategy, right? We are thinking, what are the positives? If everything goes as per plan, then this is how it will turn out. But we always also think, okay, if this fails, if this person's unavailable, then that's not negative. We're just strategizing and figuring out multiple ways of addressing the concerns and achieving the end goal. So I think negativity, I feel, it's just a personal thing. I feel it's got a bad rap. Um, just because the word is negativity, and I guess the word becomes negative, people have kept it that, hey, it's not a good thing. Like you had said, I think it's good to self reflect and identify what are the things that I won't say what went wrong. I would say what things didn't go as per plan, and we could do it better the next time. And think about it, plan it. We can set up goals and like lessons learned. Something I really enjoy doing at my work situation where I just say, what things we learned that, rather than saying what went wrong, I'm like, hey, what was good for us?
Mm.
What were great new things we tried? And what lessons we learned? So that we can always keep it at a positive space, uh, but at the same time respecting things that did not go right. But for example, I would say I've had recently, I've just traveled and I came to New York City, and I came to a new city with not that many friends here, and started a job which was for a few months to figure out would I even like the job or not. And there was a lot of negativity when it comes with having no friends, moving to a new place, not knowing anything about how to go about things. Winter's coming on our doorsteps,
Mm.
and not achieved as many success or goals as I should have or
Mm.
should be, the space I need to be in for the age I'm at. But rather than, I definitely faced that negativity for, I would say, 2, 3 months. And then I realized that I'm dwelling into something which is just a black hole or a dead mess that I can just think about it all my life and nothing will improve unless I take small steps. I'm an overthinker, so I think too many things, I overwhelm myself, and then I just go into a very depressive, negative state. But I realize that if I do that, nothing's going to improve.
Mhm.
So I made some drastic changes. I had to take a break from my job, so I ended my contract. And then after that, I wanted to spend time with myself, understand, and then set up new tasks and how we can achieve, take small steps
Mhm.
and take those small steps to achieve the goals that I've planned. Small goals turn into medium goals, into large goals, or a plan, have a master plan of how to achieve those things and cherish all the moments of happiness, sadness, you know, steps of learning. I think negativity is like the gate people think. I think it's just a gate that when we ask, let's say God, that, hey, I want to be successful, it's a way of our mindset telling, oh, it won't work.
Mhm.
But when we push through and we're like, no, 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 I gotta keep just be disciplined, keep working at it. I've tried this way, it did not work. Let's try it this way. Just keep trying. It's the steps to success. So now
Mhm.
I can't stop smiling, which is a bad thing. So
Mhm.
uh, I'm just, I'm in
Right.
a very, very good personal space, headspace, and I just like to get small things or things achieved, finished. But I also respect when things don't go wrong and
Mhm.
have a self reflection with myself to see what things I could do better. But I don't dwell or overthink or stay in a negative state.
Mhm.
But before I stop, also please share when has been a time for you when it came for negativity.
First of all, big kudos because I mean, going out 3 months in a negative roller coaster is and get out of there. That's not easy. I mean, and so you really push yourself a lot, and that shows also negativity can lead to something positive, right? Like it can pushes you, but you could also go in self doubts. And I mean, I deal a lot with that problem, that I always have the feeling I'm not good enough, right? And it puts a lot of pressure on myself, right? You could have done more, you could have done better, and yeah, there's some truth in it, but I also should see the positive side. But you already
Yeah.
did some good steps, and
Yeah.
yes, maybe also sometimes 80% is enough, and not 100% all the time. You don't have to push you to the limits, because it's also not healthy to push and push and push, because you also need your relaxing time. So that's also, we should say, overthinking. I'm the same, and also I need to also tell myself, hey, you also did good things. Not only focus
Yeah.
on the negativity, also put your energy on the positive things. So, but what I wanted to say, kudos to you. I mean, I think
Thank you,
that's
man.
really great, and I know you smile a lot. I can, that's true. So, yeah. Um, so negativity, what faced me was in my work environment a couple of years back, where I worked with a person together which always looked at things in a negative way, like fear, or like, you know, it's really interesting if someone writes an email, and it's this kind of sending and receiving um, method, which I used to learn in school back then. You probably heard about that. I only know the German side, but so German language. But it's basically, if you send something, you can mean it mainly in a positive way. That's how you write. But if the receiver is in a negative mood or whatever, he can read it completely differently, because you don't hear the sound of, to just say the written words. And for me, every email that person read was always like, oh, what that person wants from me, why he wants to attack me, oh, he wants something, I need to be careful, I need to be careful. I don't trust those people. And he put that mindset on me. So I didn't have any interaction with other people, but he had interaction. And that person, I was like, oh, you need to be careful with that person. The person will put the knife in your back if he has a chance. You know what I mean? And I
Mm.
believed that. And I really became then to the same person, and really was like careful, and was like, even though I had zero interaction. And what I learned is, really, I have to make my own mind about people, not what people tell me. It's really
Yes.
my observation with those people. And it led me really, and this was ongoing, was a year long, I'm talking here, like every day, the negativity I faced with that person every day, until I needed to make a cut, because I
Mm.
realized it also went into my personal life, that negativity. I felt more stressed. So I needed to really make a cut with that person. And I said, I need to have a distance. I don't want to
Mm.
talk about certain topics anymore. I have to work with you together, yes, but there are certain topics I don't want to deal anymore with you, because I really realized I became another person, you know.
Mm.
So, and yeah, I think I realized it too late, because certain things happen in my life, but it's good that I realized it, because friends also told me, and that's a good thing about what we talked about friendship, because friends really tell you in your face, hey, stop. You're acting weird. You're acting a lot. You always see the negative things. I was like, oh wow, yeah, they're right, right. So um, that was for me my biggest um, interaction with negativity. Yeah, and it was not all negative that whole year. Don't get me wrong, but it was more and more. It added up slowly. It was like really slowly um, to become to that point where I said, okay, I really need to distance myself now. It doesn't. It's not good for me, right? And I think that's also a big deal. Be able to let people go. Be able to say no to people when you're realizing they don't are good for you, right? If you feel like,
Yeah.
hey, and yeah, and this is not easy too, right? This is really hard, right? Because
Yeah. I think it's like, everybody is dealing with their own traumas of their issues that we have, right?
yeah.
And sometimes we think that certain friends or people will be in our lives for a long time, but we forget that we're also human. with a lot of things in their personal lives. So I feel like sometimes we have friends who will go for a lifetime, which we both have. We might make some new ones. Some might be friends who are just seasonal. They come for that season, next season we don't see them. And then there's some acquaintances that we think we'll see them, but we
Yeah.
don't ever see them. Then we're like, oh, this is a good person to meet. Then we never see them again. So it really depends. But I think it's nice that you were able to identify when you wanted to cut the person off, because it clearly sounded like the negativity was hitting you hard. And, when you're also listening to others, you're getting impacted. And it could even be the person was completely fine. It's just they had their tone was off, or sometimes some people are taken, why is he being passive aggressive? But he's just having a normal conversation. He's just being perceived the wrong way. And no one in this day will be like, oh, why is he being so rude? They'll just make an assumption and move forward and be like, oh, he's a rude guy. And he might not even be rude.
Yeah.
It's just it's just something you have perceived. And then let's say I talk to my friend and he has already perceived somebody being rude. First thing he'll say is, oh yeah, meet Giovanni. And then he'll say, but he's a rude guy.
Mm.
And now I've not even met this guy. I just know his name. And because he's my friend, I'm just going, okay, it's a rude guy. So I'm going to layer up and I'm not going to share my feelings. So we won't become friends.
Mm.
Which is a poor thing, is that man could have a bad day. It could be that he lost somebody that day and he just wasn't in the headspace for a conversation, but didn't feel comfortable sharing it with my friend. So it's really important, like you said, to observe everybody and create your own first impression, and sometimes actually create your second impression, because even a first impression can be wrong.
Mm.
So it's important to have few impressions about somebody.
Yeah. I agree. Um,
But good job, man. It's not easy to cut people and step away from negativity. Like it's taken me a long time to figure out times I get negative, or if I have anger or issues like that, and I like to just step away from the position or the situation and listen to some live music. Or I love swimming. I'll just jump into water. I feel like the water is very calming, like water, or just go for a walk. And I'm one of those few people that you'll see in minus Fahrenheit walking on the street, and while you're looking through the window of your room, why is a man walking?
yeah.
That's me. You know, I'm like, I need to walk. I need to walk to cool down. I need to walk to relax and just reflect that why. And it's not even anger most of the times. It's just thoughts that we have not been able to consume, and we don't know how to take them or how to categorize them. And the unknown is what is causing the confusion in our own minds. And thus, we are taking it in a negative space because we've not reflected onto it. So I just try to reflect on everything. Maybe too much reflection. I need to slow down a bit. That's what Poopy Head has told me, that I'm doing too much reflection. Um, but I've been reflecting for the last 9 months. So I feel the whole world, how I saw the world, saw my friends, has completely changed on me, 180. And everything I saw is now completely different, which is a bit weird for me also. But yeah, it's thing, as long as we just take negativity. I don't really think it's negative. It's all positive. It's just a gate that helps us to reach our success and we're learning new ways of how to not only with ourselves, deal with other people, family, strangers, friends, situations, and just enjoy it. I think it just gets a bad rap, but nothing is unless we dwell. Some person here who dwell for 3 months had depression. I would not recommend that to anybody. Um, that was me, but that was something I had to deal with because if I did not self reflect and go through that, I would never be able to move forward. So that was something required on my end. But it's very important that, like, I was blessed with great family members and I have them beside me, my friends who are open to listen to me, and then I can ask for help from people I trust, or there, self reflect. I did tons of meditation. I felt like a guru by the end of it, non certified. But I, I done so much meditations that I was like, which asana would you like to learn today? And the guy was like, oh, you do yoga? And I was like, 9 months of just non-stop everything done. Um, so yeah, but what do you recommend ways to cope up with negativity, or how do you deal with it?
Well, I think it goes back to the mental health topic that we discussed, right? I think mental health here is really important. I'm just thinking about, I talked a bit about negativity today, and we ended up like in jobs. Like if you have a job where you face a lot of negativity because it's a hard job, like not necessarily like stress or something, but also if you see things like I thought about, I live in New York City, and I
Yeah.
just think about what cops have to deal with, you know. And
Oh,
if you see stuff which is not nice, and you go home to your family and you have all those negative thoughts, right? Because you always see the negative side often of people.
yeah.
You see, it can it can make something out of you, right? Because then you are already not trusting certain people because of experience you have, even though we all know, I would say, that the most people out there are positive and nice and whatever. But if you're dealing all the time with exactly the other side of the people, then you need to have a really good mental health, because if you then
Yeah.
put that negative thoughts or the negativity like to other people, then it's really dangerous. So mental health is for sure, but those are really the crazy cases, right? I mean,
Yeah, but still, you
but
said it really well.
yeah.
The one thing I've actually met the New York officer, the sweetest people I've met. But then when I was chatting with a sergeant the other day, um, he just said that whatever happens at work stays at work. He never takes it home. So it's a very clear boundary. He's like, whenever his wife asks him how's the day, good.
Yeah.
And he's like, there should be no reason she needs to know more about what happened during the day, because he shared that certain things might be dangerous or something. But if she is curious of knowing what the day is, then he does share that. He said that in his earlier days he wouldn't share, but then his wife raised the fact that she doesn't feel in tune with his brain,
Mm.
and she wanted to know where his mental space was. So I think it is important. We have to identify how much to share, what to share, and that way the partner is just looking as a way to be your, um, how do I say it, like your cane, your walking cane. So if you're stumbling in life, she or he just wants to be there as support
Mm.
and wants to help you, be with you at the same time, so that you both can work on it together while you are the primary person who's resolving the issue. So even doctors, I see them day in, day out. Even met
Mm.
two, two of our acquaintances are doing residency. And the horror stories that they tell me in parties, I feel like, wow, that's really tough. But then they feel like, wow, the work that you do for a party, that is way tougher. So we all, because we don't understand it, we think that the other person is doing a way tougher thing. We all are doing tough things, you know, because we all are just living our own lives. So to me, it's tough, but to you, it's easy. And the same way, if you look at me, you'll be like, wow, nature call, that's a really rough week. Or I'm like, no, it's been great. I'm happy. I might not look the part, you know, I might have stayed a little,
Yeah.
but, uh, pretty happy. So
Yeah. But
I think it just depends.
yeah, and I mean, and you can do a lot. I mean, as I said, I mean, first thing, it sounds easy, but think positive. Try to see always the positive things. I mean, it can always be worse, right? For many things, often we also make a big thing out of something, overthink things, right? And you can get out of there, right? If you really want, if you, and as you said, step by step, right? I mean,
Yes.
often also you need to have put a big issue into pieces, right? Because and then say, okay, one step at a time, like narrow it down to single task and solve one task after the other one, and focus your
Yes.
energy on something else which makes you happy, right? Hobbies, time with family, time with friends, good talks. And if you have a great relationship, hopefully your partner supports you on that, brings you good energy, because this is also a big thing, a topic you said before with the cop and the wife. I mean, a relationship can also bring you energy, but also can also cause negativity. So it's also next to friends and family, choose wisely. You cannot really choose your family, but you can choose your friends and your partner, right? I mean,
You can choose your immediate family when you
yeah,
get married.
build a second one.
Yeah.
but I mean, it's really important if you are in an unhealthy relationship. Again, you have to make the step. And it's hard, It's easier to say, but if you feel like negative in your relationship or with your friends, you have to make the cut, right?
You do.
Um,
Oh, definitely have to make the cut. You have to also, whatever thoughts you're making, you have to sometimes reframe your
mm,
thoughts. Um, and then it's very important to realize the people you want to keep around you.
mhm.
You're as good as they say, right? You're the average of the five people that are in your life.
Yeah.
And the smartness, the intelligence, the empathy, how you behave with people all gets
Mhm.
defined by the five friends that you have that you keep close to you. And self care is huge. You know,
Mhm.
people meditation, wanting to go and do adventures, play
Mhm.
sport, um,
Yeah.
do manis and pedis or massages. All of these things are great things to do. Or like even what was it we did Comic Con,
Mhm.
which was great and fun.
Yeah.
uh, all are just different ways of like coping with thoughts that are in our brain,
Mhm.
that we relieve the stress and the negativity, and then keep achieving the goals and enjoy the journey rather than just go to the end goal and forget all the excitement and fun we are dealing with on the way.
But you know that phenomenon, like, if I realize that when I'm negative, then I
Yeah.
also connect with people that are negative. I find people that are negative. So if
Thank you.
you
So you connected with me.
and if you are positive and think more like that, then you also find those people. So it's really interesting. And I realized that so far with friends and whatever. I mean, really realized that when I was in a good stage of my life, I really also found the same people that are in a positive vibe, see
Mm.
the world positive, and the other way around, right? So it's really interesting. And as I said before, at the end, it's really also a mindset, right? Because we don't talk about I don't want to talk about health issues and that stuff. I mean, that we cannot really. We can do, of course, we can eat healthy, but there are certain things we cannot control in life, right?
Yeah.
If you
Yes.
become cancer, you become cancer. I mean, shit, it happened, but it's nothing. It's your fault, right? It's not right. It just
No, I
happens.
wouldn't say it's your fault. Depends, right? Some could be hereditary or something. But
Yeah,
to
but
find to find positivity even within that would be
Exactly. And
great.
this is hard though. I mean, it's really hard,
It
right?
is hard. It
But
is harder.
exactly,
Respect.
exactly. But when I'm talking now about negativity, I think more about those things you have really can influence and change, right, by yourself, right? And
Yes.
this is doable, right? And I
Yeah.
think as just and so, yeah. But it's a huge topic, and as I said in the beginning, it's okay to feel negative, right? Take your 5 minutes, realizing that you are negative, and then try to get out of there. But yeah, it's always easier to say than to do, right? But have friends.
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But it's always good to, that's the beauty
yeah.
that of self care, or even sometimes we all need to ask for help.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong to be like, hey,
Oh yeah, for
can you
sure.
just listen to me? Or hey,
Yeah.
have you come across this situation? And just talk. Sometimes while you're talking to another person, you're actually able to talk with your own self, and you're listening yourself for the first time
Mm,
rather than just thinking it.
yeah.
Listening is a very different way of communicating with yourself than what you think in your brain. And many people think it's the same. I don't think it's the same at all. It helps me a lot to speak out loud, and then I'm able to resolve it in my own brain, or ask a friend or a family member or
Mm,
someone who's open to listen to you and provide an honest feedback. Like you told me that, hey, sometimes friends will just say, okay, it's been 3 months. Can you now be done with it?
mm-hmm.
You're like, oops, I did not know it was 3 months, but thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It will be taken care of. So,
Mm,
that's where it's great to have very good friends and people that care about you. And, you know, you can always find new people. There's support groups out there too. And we all need sometime a little bit of push and help. So it's always good to ask.
I think that's a great ending. We always need push and help sometimes to get out of negativity. Yeah. I mean, I don't
Okay.
know. You have any last words? Because I think, from my end.
No, I think I'm about there, but I would say that don't feel that negativity is too negative, and it's just steps to success, and be happy. And holidays can be sometimes lonely. I know we also have the loneliness video out there,
Mm.
but just go to Rockefeller, enjoy the Christmas lights, or check out, get some good chocolate. Hot chocolate is yummy these days. You get tons of it. So just go with it, a lot of people, and
Mm.
just see. And if unable to enjoy your own happiness, jump into theirs, and just have a good day.
All right. Thank you so
All right,
much.
people.
Appreciate the
See you.
talk. See you, man. Bye bye.